everything, your body that you have right now, the main reason why you have the body that you have right now, the main reason why you have the composition of fat and muscle that you do have right now is based on your hormone production. Okay, so the hormones will be the most powerful influences of your body composition. But what is the core? It's kind of like you get a tree or you get a weed and you cut at the leaves. It's going to grow back. What you need to do, you need to pull the weed out. You need to cut at the roots of the tree and get it out. Now the roots and the core of the hormone production, there's 7 main hormones, which I'll touch on briefly shortly, is the 3 vitality pillars. The third biggest impactor of hormone production is our exercise. The way we exercise will determine hormone production. The second most powerful, and quite often we'll hear that abs are made in the kitchen, but even more powerful and even a larger influence on our hormone production than nutrition is our psychology. Now, I even know hormone optimization specialists that they're 10 times more knowledgeable than I am on hormone production. But to understand the impact, you need to begin to understand how energy is emitted as we think and how the power of thoughts work, and have an understanding of that, have an understanding of neurolinguistic programming, basic psychology, and also quantum theorem. Because our unconscious and our conscious is constantly communicating without us even realizing it. Happens at the subconscious level. However, our mind is also always communicating with the quantum field around us. And whether you're religious, whether you're an atheist, or this is the way it's been proven. This is the way God has created the planet, or this is the way that Mother Nature has created the planet, or this is the way the Big Bang Theory created the planet. Regardless of your belief, this is how it is. Everything is energy. We know this. We can see that. Okay? So the next 3 laws are focused on that. The most powerful contributor to the production of hormones we have in our body is our psychology, or what I've put together, the mental vitamins. So the next 3 laws are focused on influencing and impacting hormones in a way, the 7 main hormones, the kings of hormones, and queens, I guess, of hormones, and that's what we're going to go through now. So I want to invite you, before we move forward, I think it's really important to understand that we have a responsibility. We have the ability to choose to respond. Somebody can say something to us, something can happen, and we can choose to respond. We can feel like crap, and then we can still choose our action. Okay, we might have one bad meal, we eat one bad meal, and they go, oh crap, I've had a bad meal, let's just forget about the rest of the week. Oh, I missed one day at the gym, we can choose to do that. What happens is there's a stimulus and there's a response. So we experience a stimulus, and then there's a window of opportunity where we can choose that response. So we have an ability to be able to respond. The problem is that most people are on default because we're constantly always thinking. Because we're constantly always thinking and on default, then most people have let that happen through default rather than control. So I'm going to invite you to become more aware of what's happening in your mind at the conscious level and subconscious level, so that you can begin to shine your own flash torch, and you can choose your own actions to become more aware of your neuroassociations and the emotional attachments you have to food. And some people go, well, you know what, I don't have an emotional attachment to food, but we all do, and I'm going to explain why shortly. It's really important to understand that everything starts in the form of a thought. Everything in our life starts at the form of a thought. Even though that things can seem cyclical, and a lot of people will say, well, if our hormones are out of whack, then that's going to affect our state and how we think. But that's true, but everything still starts at a thought. And the way it works is really simple. Neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, quantum physics, and most of the most reputable and credible sciences in the world will agree with this. That we'll think will emit an energy, and then based on what we think, which is known as a primary thought, we'll then create a meta-thought. And all that means, and I'm going to simplify this as much as possible, all that means is we're going to think about our thought. So anyway, we think, and then whatever we think about will determine how we feel. Okay? So we think about an ex-partner or an ex-lover. Okay? Or let's think about our current lover. Let's say we think about a time when it was a romantic time. So there's a romantic time with your lover, and you think about there's a romantic time with your lover. Okay, so you think about that romantic time, and then you begin to think about how you thought about that, and then it creates a feeling, because as you go back to that thought and remember about that romantic time, you begin to relive those feelings. Okay, so then you feel a certain way based on that thought. So if you want to change your feelings or your state, then we need to change our thoughts. That comes from our self-talk. Okay, so in regards to our self-talk, okay, there's three focuses that we're going to have tonight. Okay, so we begin to feel a certain way because we remember what it was like experiencing that romantic experience. And then based on how we feel, we're going to take a certain action. So maybe this is heading in the wrong direction. Maybe I should choose a different a different memory or a different thought. But anyway, you can begin to get the gist. That when you feel something, it'll choose how you act. If you're in a crappy mood, you're going to act completely different than if you're excited, if you're happy. We know this. This is just how it is. We know that when we feel a certain way, we're going to act differently. The way we then act, our behavior will determine our outcome. We know that we have a stimulus, then there's a response, we have a window of opportunity to think, feel, and choose to how we're going to act. Then we respond. We have the ability to do that. We have the control to choose to do that, or we can do it on default. And then we'll achieve an outcome. Okay? Now, with that outcome, based on that process, we will then form a belief. We'll believe that, okay, well, thinking and feeling like this has led to this action, and we'll achieve this outcome. The problem is that quite often we will delete, distort, and generalize aspects of that. So we won't be thinking about the way we were feeling. We'll be acted a crappy way. We'll make a crappy decision. We'll get a crappy outcome. So then we'll think that action, which might have otherwise worked if you were in a better state, we won't realize that it wasn't actually the action itself, but it was what we were thinking or feeling at the time. Okay, so it'll determine an outcome, it'll determine a belief. So what happens is we'll create a belief at the unconscious level on every cell of our body. Okay, we'll create this belief, and then it's there. Okay, and the only way we can get rid of that is to replace it by a newer belief. Now, if you're not aware of the beliefs that you have in the first place, how can you determine which beliefs that you need to have and then change those beliefs? Beliefs are not right or wrong, they just are. The beliefs you have now will change. In a year from now, you'll look back like I do and go, what the frickin' hell was I thinking? 2 years from now, I'll look back at this webinar and go, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? That's just how it is. We're constantly learning. We're learning machines, yeah? Okay, so the power of beliefs. And then what we'll do is we'll form our values. So if you want to change the way you feel, if you want to change your actions, you want to be in more control, you need to think about, be more aware of what you're thinking. Okay, and we do that through self-talk. And there's 3 forms of self-talk, okay, that I want to focus on today. And you'll probably begin to notice in anybody that's talking in any kind of context, but let's focus on weight loss, you'll notice these 3. If you're a personal trainer, you're going to love these 3 items for your clients. The first one is try. It's really important that we eliminate the word try from our vocabulary, because what does try do, as Yoda says? Try denotes failure. I tried to quit smoking. I tried to go to the gym. I tried to eat healthy. I tried. So if we use the word try, in hypnosis, we'll actually use the word try so people don't achieve whatever that outcome is. Try to not think of me in a mankini right now. I apologize for those of you who don't yet know me. Okay, you'll probably get to know pretty soon, pretty shortly, that I'm not the most serious person in the world. Well, try to not think about your favorite food right now and how delicious that would be if you were eating that right now. You try not to think about it, and the more you try not to think about it, the more you find yourself thinking about it. And I probably shouldn't do this because obviously you begin to salivate, right? And then what happens is we have a peristalsis effect. I'm not sure if you remember what a peristalsis effect is, but the peristalsis effect is simply the fact that our whole digestive system works in unison together. Once we start producing saliva and swallowing, even our colon will start to work. And this is why sometimes when we eat, we feel like we need to go to the toilet. So it's important to understand the link between what we're saying to ourselves. If I begin talking about, imagine going to the fridge and you open up the door and you pull out a lemon. It's a deliciously ripe lemon, beautiful lemon scent. You put it on your cutting board, you pull out a knife out of the drawer and you just slice it gently. A little bit of it squirts up, but it misses your face, but you can still smell it, and it creates a salivation explosion within your mouth. And I want you to try not to think about that as you go. If you have kids, and you say to kids, okay, don't run across the road. Don't jump on the bed. The brain doesn't recognize command negations. Okay, so what you're actually doing is you're putting that thought in their mind. So thanks, Mum or Dad. Okay, so something to think about, and I want to invite you to think about that as well. Eliminate the word try. Second, what we want to do is the word should. We want to turn our shoulds into must. I should go to the gym. I should eat healthy, and then I should all over myself. Turn your shoulds into must. Okay, I must go to the gym because I want to achieve my ideal weight, because that's how I'm going to feel extremely fulfilled. And it means I'm going to achieve X, Y, Z. I must because. And the third one is I am, because whatever follows I am will determine and create your reality. Okay, I am an alcoholic. Cool, it's a disease. It's not my responsibility. I'm stuck with it till I die. I am a drug addict, which once upon a time, I as a teenager, I lived on the streets and got involved with the wrong crowd, and I spent some time with drugs, and some of you have read the story. And if you say you're a drug addict, guess what? The brain goes, okay, you're the boss. Yeah, and then it's got to act accordingly. So the problem is that it dissociates from the responsibility of you taking the actions to be able to solve that. Now, I love this because how many people say, I am overweight? If you have any clients that say, I am overweight, or you find yourself saying, I am overweight, of course the brain goes, okay, because you can't lie to itself, let's act accordingly. So what happens is, okay, you're trying to diet and trying to eat healthy and trying to go to the gym. Yes, I prepared all my food, I've eaten really well, breakfast, lunchtime, get a call. It's your best friend. Oh, we're going out for dinner, we're all going, you coming? Ooh, no, I probably shouldn't. You know, I'm on this diet, and then you go, come on, and so you go. Okay, well, I'll get fish and salad. Then you get there, and then what happens is all your friends are eating delicious food and deep-fried food, and they have a couple of cocktails, and you go, well, you know, just one, it's okay, you know, I should eat healthy, but I am overweight, and, you know, I'm here, and, you know, what the heck. And then the next morning you wake up feeling sorry for yourself, feeling guilty, okay, because that's what should does. And then they go, well, it's okay, you know, I tried to do it. So those three, they're the most powerful self-talk. And in regards to should, the problem with should is because of command negations, which means the brain doesn't, you know, don't think of me in a mankini. You've got to. It's the same with shoulds. Now think about whenever you say you should do something, are you more or less likely to do it? You're less likely, right? Now when you don't do that thing, what happens? You feel guilty. Okay, now the problem is you're feeling guilty and you're thinking about the gym. So what's the link? Guilty gym, guilty gym. So whenever you begin to think about the gym, you automatically start to feel guilty. Okay? Now the problem with that is when you feel guilty, are you going to, when you're feeling guilty, is your action going to be in alignment with the outcome you want to achieve? Probably not. And that's how powerful this process is. It's really important to understand that. And this is really simple, and I'm only getting Mental Vitamins program is a complete 6-month program we go through. We use with our life coaching program, we use for the business coaching program, we also use it for our online personal training program, the complete program that is. And you know, we're just launching it at the moment and begin to use it at the moment. And those three, you shift those three things, and you become so aware of those on a daily basis that when you say the word try, you go, oh, stop that, or you say I should, oh, I must, or when you find yourself saying I am overweight, oh, no, I am doing everything I can to lose the weight because, yeah. So switch that focus. If you do that, those three things with yourself and your clients, I guarantee it's going to totally change your feelings, your actions, your outcomes, yeah, and it's going to fast track your results. If nothing else took those three things from tonight, you watch the difference in the mirror. I guarantee it. Okay. So your 4 powers. That brings me to the 4 powers. Now, a lot of this, obviously, I'm working on at the unconscious level as well because I'm going to be delivering a lot more of this kind of information over the upcoming months, and I know there's a fair few of you guys actually in the room right now that attend a lot of our webinars, and as you can see, it's beginning to all come together and package together with our programs, and we have complete programs, which is really exciting. I want to talk to you about your 4 powers, because what happens with the I tried, the try, the should, and the I am process is what that does, and the same as saying I am, is it relinquishes our power. We then forfeit our responsibility. By saying I am overweight, then it's out of my control. I am an addict, it's out of my control. I am an alcoholic, I am a smoker. Okay, let's light one up, big boy. Yeah, it's the same thing. So what I'm going to invite you to do is focus on the 4 things that you can completely control, and this is going to begin to assist you in starting to, 1, become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, but 2, begin to realize when your thoughts are not in alignment with the way you want to feel, act, and the outcomes you want to achieve. Okay, and that's a step to creating the beliefs and values we want. There's 4 things you can completely control in your life, and I'm going to get you to write this down, pen and paper. So the first thing is B. We're going to use this by an acronym. Actually, just write this down. Write the letter B, then under the letter B, write the letter E. Under the letter E, write the letter S, and under the letter S, write the letter T. So it should be B-E-S-T, best. Running down, running vertically downwards. Okay, so next to the B, I want you to write behavior. You can completely control your behavior. Okay, you can choose to act and do what you want when you want. Okay, you can choose to get up and leave the webinar now. You can choose to listen closely. Yeah, you can listening closely and then choose to use all the information and do the exercise that we're going through. You can choose to then apply this information starting from tomorrow. You can choose that, and I'm sure you'll all agree that. So first is your behavior.